welcome back to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. If you can't see me, sorry, too bad. Like, you see me enough, you haven't seen any of these guys before. And this is the start of the, I guess, thing that I started where I'm now bringing on a slew of bands that are not my regular people that I see all the fucking time. I actually went on a group called DFW Local Support, threw it out there for anyone. I'm like, yo, I do a podcast, let's get down, let's promote bands. And honestly, the first people to answer the call, superhero, supervillain.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you when you posted. I saw you when you posted that. I'm like, ooh, interested. Actually, it's more like this is more interesting. I don't really use hardly anymore.
Okay, let me turn on my mouse sensitivity to get to that shit quicker.
Yeah.
But so actually what I really dig about this, because the songs I did listen to that you did send me, I did really like, as I did say when I threw out the episode, that this is kind of like an homage to the time when rock music was in like that late 90s, early 2000s, was really hitting its stride before all the fucking radio stations grabbed it and then paid all those bands millions of dollars and says, okay, now you need to write stuff like this, and this, and this. I feel like you guys are in that wave, like, sound-wise, of the bands that were before that radio grab.
It took us a while to grasp on to, like, that concept, but, man, yeah, it's basically what we do.
I'll say this: most of the stuff I sent you was our heavier stuff. We play a wide range of styles,
Which is great.
Yeah, and
don't beat yourself up to death with one style.
Yeah, I love playing heavy stuff, and I think playing the other stuff makes the heavier stuff even heavier.
Yeah.
I think what you zeroed in on is it's kind of funny because when I first asked Evan what the music was like before I joined the band, Evan and I used to work together actually, and I was just asking him about his music because he'd mentioned he was in a band. He said it's kind of like if Jimmy Eat World played metal. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. And that was a pretty solid descriptor. It sold it enough for me to go, all right, I see where we're going for it. And then, lo and behold, like 5-6 years later.
When I was like, when Tony Hawk, when Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Underground 2 came out.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
this soundtrack is awesome.
They had that, I forget what Jimmy Eat World song they had, but it was like one of their best ones.
I think it was the middle. I was probably the middle.
I think so, and God, it was so good. That's what got me started listening to him like that year. I rode that train for
my favorite Tony Hawk song is 96 Quite Bitter Beings from the first game.
Yeah, dude.
CKY.
Yeah.
Oh man, that song is just like I'm gonna grind this so hard.
Is that the entire soundtrack? Fucking Badfinger Superman, dude. That was like my jam.
Didn't they remake that game and kept the same soundtrack and added like 3 songs? I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
That shit.
Like I never knew who these people were until I was like in high school, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my time. I just got out of high school. I got plenty of time to just do whatever the hell. Tony Hawk soundtrack.
That fast.
Yeah.
He was
You're typing like it was like a drum roll.
It was a drum roll.
I played that game.
One paradiddle and A, is it like Morse code?
Yeah.
Alright guys,
I played that game so much.
Introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, please.
Okay.
Zach.
I'm the drummer of the band. My name is Zach Haygood. And I used to play golf, and now I play drums.
My name is Evan Fee. I play guitar and sing and scream.
I'm Ziggy. I play lead guitar and backup vocals on stage.
And I'm Matt, and I play the bass in the band.
Alright. I want to go ahead and just start off saying much respect to you for being the most vocal drummer that's ever been on the podcast. We're only like
Thank
5
you,
minutes.
man.
We're only 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's the most vocal drummer ever.
I am here to represent
We're all
the
pretty
silent
talkative.
majority. I'm here to represent the silent majority.
Oh my god.
The silent majority, aka the people that are like, man, I would love to join your band. I'm like 4 others. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so happy
most times.
that you say that.
We actually we
Yeah.
had a talk with Zach beforehand. We said we're gonna use the safe word if you
Yes.
just shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's a safe
We're
word.
doing this
There is
live.
the band does have. We do have a safe word. It's because sometimes
Do you want to reveal it?
Yeah. We talked about it. It's
It's
actually a safe. It's 2 words. It's Oklahoma bananas is the safe
Yeah.
word. So like we use it in practice because
When
we have some members in the band that like to play.
So much.
And keep
so
playing.
loud.
Hey, you're
And
getting
this guy
too,
too.
Chris. It's you and me, Chris.
And
You and me.
it's not productive. It's not really productive. Just
Sometimes you just need
Hey,
to shut up.
Mr.
Shut up.
Mr. David Trevino of Skull Archer. I think they're talking about you too, buddy.
So we made up. I think everyone that's in a band it has at least one member
Yeah.
that's like this, and it's not as productive to say shut up all the time. So we
It
made,
won't.
and a lot of times people they end up kind of just like drowning that word out. So we thought let's think of a ridiculous phrase we can say that'll get everyone to shut the fuck up, and it's Oklahoma bananas.
Yeah.
I think it started out with Oklahoma, and then
I think I just had because
yeah,
I was like first thing I thought of in my
Yeah, we have a song that's on this album, the new one.
yeah.
Called Oklahoma Bananas, and that's kind of what the
That's
song's
what it's about.
Yeah, it's actually
Yo!
about all 3 of these guys. I wrote it, and then
Wow,
it's
cool.
Yeah. That's
Also, shout out to these guys. I don't really get a lot of stuff like this when I do this podcast. I don't expect it, but like getting the fucking hookup is always awesome, and I greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate you taking the call. As I said, I've been running the mill of having my buddies on, which isn't a problem, you know.
Yeah.
But the scene is more than my friends.
Sure.
And the scene is more than the same 10 bands that half the scene probably just goes to watch because hey, that's my buddy playing.
Do you mind if I show it for
That's
the
how it
camera?
starts out at first.
Give us a little. So
yeah.
yes, this is all. We're giving this all to Billy today. But folks, this stuff. Well, except for this is only available on our shows. This is one of our superhero supervillain lighters. Those are big lighters, of course. It's one of our superhero supervillain patches. I feel like Mel Brooks from Spaceballs all of a sudden.
Yeah.
This is one of 2 of our stickers, and then this is our 4th album. This is our 3rd album. This one's called A Few Months Mute, and this one's called Approaching the Horizon. So they're all this stuff is available on our online store, which is what's the store?
OurMerchBoxOnline.com/superhero supervillain.
Yes.
Drop them links, boy. And this will definitely be going up on the back wall. Very,
Heck
very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
much so, you know.
It's a few bands we've played with.
It's already
Also, I
Diesel.
gotta,
Very proud of the merchandise we have.
I gotta say
cool
really
stuff.
quickly, shout out to the fact that we're having a lot of teachers in the scene.
Yeah.
Brandon Luna,
Yes.
Corey Rogers, Evan Fee. Man, that's cool. So,
Congratulations.
this is a question I have for you just off the get-go. First off, what grade do you teach?
I teach high school,
Okay.
mostly freshmen, but I do also teach 10th, 11th, and a couple of seniors. I'm a math teacher, and so I teach primarily algebra 1 mainly, and then I'm also a special ed education teacher, so I do a lot of paperwork is what that entails.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot
He
of
teaches
paperwork.
special algebra.
Well, I co-teach. I work with a few other teachers. I have a really good team I work with, and I really like my job. And then it also led me into my the other musical venture that I currently do. I do a hip hop stuff called under the moniker MC Square Root. And that's online too. And all the songs are about math. I just kind of started doing it as a kind of a way to get my students engaged, and I realized, oh shit, people kind of like these, so started doing that too. So
There you go, man. See, this is how you do it, people.
They actually got that
now
solo gig
follow-up
at
Just
question.
keeps himself busy.
Oh my bad.
you actually played at the Deep Ellum Arts Festival this year with that.
Yeah.
as well.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was fun. I got to play 2 different gigs, with one with these guys,
Right.
and then one with MC Square, and you played 2 gigs too, with us, and then your other band.
Pudding-Tang.
Yeah.
Pudding-Tang?
Pudding-Tang. Just
They're not metal. Yeah.
just straight up party funk.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow-up
It's
question
cool
on
stuff,
that.
man.
Follow-up question on that one. How do your students know about the band, or how much do you allow them to seep in?
The first year I taught, I was secretive about it. So I'm not gonna tell you guys. Now I don't really care. I just kind of let them know. I say, hey, I'm in a band.
Yeah.
And then now that I've taught at the school, I've taught it for a few years. I have students that I've had in classes who have already had me. So, oh yeah, Mr. Fees and superhero, supervillain. It's kind of weird being called Mr. something.
You get used to it, dude.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah. It's.
But if you're in high school, I thought the name that you mostly just go off is, hey, mister.
Oh, I don't respond.
If
to
you
that.
don't like the teacher, that's what you usually
I tell
say.
students. I tell people I have a name. I will not be called Mister. I've had students that have been like Miss, and like I don't know who you're talking to. You're not talking to me.
See, if I ever forget a name, I know till you say Mister, so I would always just go, excuse me, sir, or ma'am.
Now I will say this: one of the hardest parts of my job is learning kids' names because I probably deal with over 100 kids a day, and it's like the second. This is gonna be like the 2.5 week of school, so I'm getting better. But man, there are some kids. Hey, what's up, man? Or here's the trick though: is like if they're working on as a math teacher, so that they're all worksheets. You walk, you're like, hey, what's up, John?
Well, dude, that's
John.
I didn't want to use that as an actual kid's name. I almost said.
I'm sure you did that on your first day this week.
Hey, what's up? God damn it, move your hand, motherfucker.
So yeah, there have been times like they're working on the back sheet of I'm like, what? Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it happens.
So,
No offense to the kids, because they're all wonderful.
Alright, so since we have a school teacher in the house, you need to get out your journals and your pencils. It's time for a history class. We're going to go into the humble beginnings and the 101 of superhero, supervillain. Take us back to day 1.
Alright, you guys.
Well, that would be me. Okay, so I started superhero, supervillain in the summer of 2009 when I was living in Austin, Texas. I started with a good friend of mine named Chia Hamill. Chia currently plays in a band called Millennial Falcon that we went on tour with this past summer. It was like a 2-city band for about 2 years. I was living in Austin, and Chia was living up in Dallas, and we rehearse. We play a lot of shows in Austin and Dallas, and then Forces forced me to move up to Dallas, and then played after I moved up. We got Matt in the band. Matt had played with us back in an old band back in 2001 called Try Not to Breathe, and Matt played with us for about a year, so through about 2011, and then in 2012 I met Chris working at Starbucks of all places.
Yep.
It's funny when I met you, you thought I was there to like take your job. Or
Oh,
something?
absolutely. They'd put me on opens, and you have to be there at like 4:30 in the morning. And I had just got done like with a job at a bakery, so I was like, yeah, I could do this, but it ended up being difficult. So I was like on my final write up, and they ended up hiring this guy, and he's just in the back like all prim and proper, and like he's really good because he used to work at a Barnes and Noble, Starbucks, and I'm like, this guy's after my job. So but we ended up like
fight fire with fire.
Friends pretty
fire with
quickly.
Yeah, we hit it off pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I knew, like we were talking about the music thing, and he gave me a couple CDs, and I mean, I had songs stuck in my head like days after, and I would kind of sing them at him to like kind of like, I love your music, but he thought I was making fun of him. So took a second, and then I jammed with Evan one night, learned a couple of the parts of the songs, and practiced with the band.
You didn't have a guitar when you started playing with us. You played one of my guitars and one of my other amps. And it was like literally the first song we played was a song called "Actions Speak Louder" from our very first album, and you came in like da da da, and you did like a pinch harmonics, like oh fuck yeah, it's like holy
This
I had been going to like Guitar Center like every now and then for just a few hours at a time, like a few times a month to keep up my chops. I didn't have a guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had to borrow. I think I was borrowing one of the Evan's guitars,
one of my
and then like a distortion. Actually, it was one of those floor pods from Line 6 from another buddy. Everything I had was borrowed back then.
That's crazy.
So Chris,
crazy.
Ziggy joined the band back in 2012, and then you joined the band in like the late summer of 2014.
That wasn't like late summer. It was like late November.
Wow.
2014.
Damn, it's been almost 4 years.
You started playing with us in like August of 2014.
That's right. Yeah.
So that wasn't your first show. Your first show was like a month later.
Yeah.
Like in September of 2014.
I used to be in.
Sheila left the band. I don't really want to say why. There was something that happened.
There's a conflict of interest.
Creative differences.
Band. Yeah, creative difference.
But she is still one of my best friends, so I love her to death.
So I was.
Zach joined the band. It was kind of we needed a drummer. We had a whole bunch of shows booked, and
I had been in another group with Zach previously for a quick minute.
It was me and my older brother. We were both musicians, and I got dragged up to UNT after I dropped out of college, and we were in a band together for a long time. Very progressive rock, jazz, fusion kind of stuff.
Human group.
And like we were about to break up, so all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, dude, we're breaking up. This is the worst day of my life." And then I get a text message from Evan, "Hey man, we need you for a couple gigs." I was like, I guess
it wasn't even me. I didn't even contact you. It was Ziggy.
I was like, I guess I'll stick with him for a couple gigs and then I'll just leave. You know.
And
I'll just leave after like this is done. You know. Then I'll do my own stuff. I'll do my own solo stuff.
After that, like the third gig, people we played at Oaktopia. It was like the second Oaktopia that they hadn't done. We played at J&J's, and after we played, a whole bunch of our friends who were there saw us and came up to me and said, "Dude,
we gotta keep Zach."
Yeah, you need to keep
Zach. You keep him.
Yeah, you keep it Zach.
I thought about it for a while, and I talked to my brother about it. And he was like, "Dude, you have nowhere else to go. You're working at UPS. Like,
So
what else are you gonna do? Like, you know what? You're right. I guess I'll just stay."
Question about the UPS. How does it feel driving on the highway in that shit?
I never drove those trucks. I used to load. But those guys get paid really well. I don't know if I should disclose pay for UPS drivers.
No, I can look it up. People have.
Yeah, you can look it up, but like, those guys work long hours, and like they constantly get on you about like getting misloads, basically putting the wrong box on the wrong truck.
But ever since
that stuff was the worst.
Zach has joined the band, we've put out 2 albums so far with Zach in this current lineup.
More than my other band.
Yeah.
But like
we've put out 2 albums in the space that your other band is about to put out there.
With my other band, like the reason I stuck around with these guys was because
every time we play the show with Puddingtane and they play the Power Rangers song, we have to play. Evan gets up on stage and he's like, "All right, so we do the right version.
We played the more correct version.
The real version.
They play the edited version that you would see at the beginning of the show.
We play the Power Rangers thing for fun. We don't actually just do the whole thing.
We play the one that actually has the verses, because it's a proper version with the verses. Plus, I put the Rita voice at the beginning, which they don't do.
Yeah.
So technically, one of you guys should probably do the Zordon part, but whatever.
I could.
Of course, Chris could. You're like the most obsessive Power Rangers fan in our group.
I'm
surprised you don't have a Power Rangers tattoo on you.
I met Jason David Frank actually, and I actually had the opportunity to spar with him one time.
I
met him at iFly. I didn't get spar with him.
Yeah, I when I was in college, I was how I paid for college was doing amateur MMA fights and kickboxing fights.
Oh yeah.
So,
are you going to that Dallas UFC?
I am going. That's that's Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley, and that fight is a
That's going to be the game changer. Yeah.
That's a monster fight. I thought
that's going to be a huge UFC game changer fight.
Oh yeah, because
my little brother's going to that, so he's staying in my place.
So I'm not going to be playing the interment show, but I have Carl Sevilla doing backup vocals for
I saw that you found someone to fill in for you.
Carlos is the most game person on the planet Earth. I swear to God. That you think, you need me to do accordion for your folk metal band? Okay. I never played an accordion before. I fucking love you, Carlos. You're a great guy.
It's just air, right? Anybody can do it.
But going off, one question I did have about, is there any symbolism in the logo? Because I don't know, I was studying it, I'm like, bro, I just realized like Superhero's all nice and fancy and Superhero's all like cut up and shit.
Yeah, that's kind of representative of like our styles in music because we do have some songs that are real poppy. We play country songs and then we play stuff that's brutal as fuck. And
Batman was brutal.
Yeah.
That's why I used it for the intro. I'm like, oh my god.
So, that's kind of the dichotomy of the band. That's kind of why we have that slash. It's not it's not meant to be a fraction.
It's more of a
some
spectrum.
People say it looks like a fraction. It's not supposed to be a fraction. If it was, the supers would actually cancel each other out, so our name would actually be Hero Villain. But that's not
Brass Captain.
Alternate name would be Angle and Devil.
Yeah.
You'd be your Angle or your Devil.
Yeah.
When you think about like the human capacity for power, like you have you just have hero and then villain, and you have super and then super on each side. So it's technically a spectrum. Since we play such we can play ballads and poppy stuff, and then we can play like melt your face death metal with solos and shit.
Yeah.
And so it's literally a statement of spectrum.
And if you really
it really is the representation of our two halves of the band.
Yeah, and if you really think about it, it also shows, in I guess my view, it shows off a really actual world presence of like what you actually see in the world. Because like there is definitely that weird power dichotomy going on just across the planet in general, not throwing shit at one individual like country or what the fuck ever, but like just all around for like the past decade and a half, 2 decades.
If we play
it's been wild as fuck. It's been nuts.
Yeah. If we play the same brutal stuff over and over again, we're just gonna get bored.
Well, and also
it keeps us on our toes a lot of the time.
I like to think of like the people that are at shows, and people have ears.
Yeah.
And if you're playing, and I take the mindset that if you're playing at this same volume style level, it wears people out in 40 minutes. So. Yeah. I mean, we're still loud as fuck, even during our quieter songs.
And we all like different genres.
We all come from very drastically. I mean, I'd say we all sit in different extremes as far as our musical tastes are concerned. Like Zach, goes farther off in prog than I know
Zach,
I ever
who's your favorite band, Zach?
Don't.
Actually, that was going to be a question I was going to get into. What's your musical influences, band?
We'll get into that later then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
let's save that for final.
I feel like went farther down the punk route than anybody at the table.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Our punk scene here is nuts.
Yes.
God.
Yes, there was a very thriving punk scene.
I just saw the Ellen DeGeneres this past.
I've heard about that.
Dude, holy shit. They're so good. They played with Dawn Patrol, Imperial Slaughter. God, that was.
They played in Dead a couple weeks ago, but I really wanted to go to that, but I had to.
Didn't is super friendly with the punk scene,
yeah.
But it's also because that's also we're a bunch of that's Yuppie Central, dog. So they're all
I'm so into the ska of Denton and Dallas, the Holophonics are.
Oh, the Holophonics, yeah.
Holophonics.
Yeah, Matt is a fan of them.
Yeah, they're freaking awesome. And I've known those guys for a while, but old stuff.
Old stuff all day.
All day, every day.
I mean, if you really kind of look at the scene in general, and no matter what spectrum you go to, I really can't speak for the hard, like the actual core scene on this one, but at least for the metal and the punk scene, they you definitely tell the influences kind of thrive off from the older styles.
Yeah.
It's especially I know for us, Overkill's my favorite band ever.
Nice.
They're my back patch on my fucking jacket.
I haven't listened to too much Overkill. Should listen to them.
Dude, they put out some really good recent albums.
I'm just now actually getting into a lot of newer, heavier metal stuff. Thanks to Chris, he's been introducing me to a lot of good stuff. He's got me into Coheed. So
I like Coheed.
I
think what was that one song?
It's so simple, but they do so much musically.
The music video for Domino is probably one of my favorite music videos like ever.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
They're coming. So basically, they just signed on for a 5-part series, and they're putting out the first album of that 5-part series in October.
Oh,
and they already have 3 songs on Spotify. It's fucking amazing. It's so good.
You can probably guess who his favorite band is.
Oh my god.
That's a band that really sets their goals. They're like, okay, this is our fucking timeline, and they will fucking just take a piece of paper and just fucking fling it out. It goes across from. That's our schedule for the next 7 years.
That's cool.
And I mean, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
They get shit done though.
Yes.
They've been getting shit done. I'm like, I like them. They're not my favorite.
They are rock solid at what they do.
But yeah,
They have their market.
We can go to that.
Mm-hmm.
that's how you plan shit.
Yeah.
That's how you plan shit. Now I do want.
Not us. We just go into the studio and be like, all right, what should we do?
We have an outline of
Yeah.
what we do. We do have a plan. There's a plan.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like the
7
Silence,
years.
but you know.
It's like a year.
We can write
8 months.
songs.
8 months to a year.
So guys, I do want to get into your musical influences now. Because there's really no other place I can segue into.
Sure.
Okay.
But it seems like there's a lot of tension on you, so we'll start over here and we'll work our
He
way
just doesn't want to get called out.
So like,
We'll start. Don't worry. We're gonna start here. We're gonna start here. I promise.
Yeah, you get all the
I have a lot of
bands, musicians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go get your shit.
I started out, listening to 90s rock, Foo Fighters.
I still love Foo
Green
Fighters.
Day,
They're
yeah.
so good.
And then I started getting more into emo. Like Jimmy Eat World, Clarity was my all-time favorite. I loved it so much.
There's a picture.
And
Isn't there a picture with
when I
you?
joined Try Not to Breathe,
Yeah.
our first band, like they were already a band, and I went and saw them play, and they reminded me a lot of Jimmy Eat World. So
Yeah.
I found out they needed a
Jimmy Eat
bass
World
player,
too.
and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. And I got to play, and it was awesome. But yeah, me and Evan have a lot of the same emo-ish influences.
Yeah.
We're
Now-
both very
Yeah.
sad people, so.
Now
We
I
brought it all
listen to
together.
I
everything.
think all of us listen to emo music.
I think we're all sad and
Everything
depressed.
now.
Let's just say that we're all sad and depressed.
So are you all getting ready for hibernation through the month of September?
Oh,
Hibernation?
Yeah. Okay. Oh damn it. This show didn't go as well as I thought. Green Day. Wake me up when September ends.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I had to
Ready
do
to
it.
go into September hibernation?
I had to do it. There's this I saw a fucking meme of like these two like emo kids like squaring up, and like the caption was,
well, music jokes confuse
when your friend wakes you up before September ends.
Oh man.
I always like to do the. I did this to my friend once. It was like 2 minutes to midnight, and I woke his ass up. Dude, it's 2 minutes till midnight.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Max Cavalera, what are your influences?
I would say, honestly, when I was little, I started out with hip hop. I was listening to like Biggie, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg when I was little.
That wasn't your favorite song when you were little, though.
It wasn't my favorite song when I was little. It was probably something on the radio.
Oh, I know what your favorite song was.
Oh, great.
What was it?
You told me.
What was it?
Lime and the Coconut.
Oh yeah. No, dude. Well, it was. Yeah, I love that song.
That was your favorite song?
I would
Are you
say,
serious?
yeah. Well, I was really little.
So
I was like-
cute.
yeah.
Isn't that adorable?
It's so adorable.
But so I listened, and then who was it? Anyway, so I just transitioned from them to like rock right around when like Linkin Park came out. Like they actually helped me transition back into rock. And then it was just straight into like, alternative, then into post-hardcore. Coheed and Cambria hit me really hard when I was 14. Their third album, Good Apollo 1, was what taught me how to play guitar.
Yeah.
I sat down to that thing, I heard Welcome Home, and I had to learn how to play it. And then, I just kind of kept moving forward into like, the emo scene and the post-hardcore scene and whatnot. And I would say that now I listen to a lot of progressive stuff. Aaron Marshall of Intervals is like my favorite guitarist of all time.
Oh, he's great.
He's amazing. Or at least I'll say modern guitarist. I listen to a lot of that stuff. And then local stuff as well. Just trying to stay in touch with what we're doing,
It's my turn. Okay. So when I was a kid, I used to really like Bruce Springsteen, and I still like Bruce.
He's the man. He's the boss.
I used to really big. Back in middle school, I listened to the band's choice were KMFDM, Ministry, and Nine Inch Nails, and I still listen to them.
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails, that EP they put out was badass. I still listen to KMFDM of all things. But the band that really shaped me musically was Faith No More, for sure. And then Mr. Bungle too. I like Bungle a lot. But just Mike Patton in general was badass. He's by far my favorite vocalist.
That kid has some fucking range.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I definitely I at least attempt to model my vocal style around what he sings.
Our band's a lot like Faith No More. That's so many different varieties
And like
of
Primus.
songs and.
We don't take ourselves too seriously.
Some people have said that that my voice does remind me of them, and I take that as like a super compliment. Like, oh my god, that's awesome, thank you. Nowadays, the main thing I like to listen to nowadays is I've been listening to this guy named Dusty Zart. He's a buddy of mine out in Guyton, Georgia. He does he remakes NES soundtracks, but does metal versions of them, and he plays all four instruments. He because NES, just specifically NES games, because those were all 4-channel games, and so there's like melody, harmony, bass, and then percussion, and he's like a fucking phenomenal drummer. And so what he does is he does like the melody and harmony on individual guitar tracks, like no chords, it's all single notes, just I like it's all instrumental, but like metal. But
does he have like a YouTube channel?
He has a Bandcamp. He has Bandcamp. Okay. Yeah. Dusty Zart's his name. He's badass.
Hell yeah.
And then I don't know, man. I listen to the radio a lot, so I listen to a lot of like indie and classical. But classical music is badass. And anyone that likes metal really should listen to classical music as well.
Are you kidding me?
It's just as technical, if not more technical than even techie stuff.
Those guys are the most proggiest people on the planet.
I wonder where they drew inspiration
You listen
from.
to
Because there wasn't a whole lot of like productionized music back then. So I wonder if they just like, you know what?
Oh no, dude, they played in cathedrals. That's where their sound would just like explode.
Well, they would start with a piano.
Well, they didn't have piano back then, they had harpsichord. So they
Start with
Yeah.
Are the keys
The
different?
keyed
I want to see the
They
transition.
started with the keyed instrument.
I want to see the
The
transition
flutes would be in like G
between
sharp
a
major.
stick hitting a wall and then be like, oh, into like what the next big thing was, and then the next.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. Oh, okay. So you're saying okay.
Oh, I think I like where this is going.
Now I understand you. You hit 3 times. It's go for it. Okay.
Alright.
All right,
Exactly.
so
Me? Okay, it's my turn.
Yup.
So I've been raised by music parents my whole life. Both my parents were opera singers and choir teachers, but they all introduced me to a lot of classic funk, which is on my mother's side, and then my father's side was just total classic rock.
What's the first instrument you played?
Drums.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you grew up playing piano.
I took lessons on piano, but I've been drumming on everything since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
I'm sorry.
It's like,
I
this is my story now, and you're not a part of it.
welcome to the Saturday, motherfucker.
So I was raised a lot on classic rock. My first real influence was the Beatles. The Beatles with like just its tight pop sounds and the vocal range too. It was the first time I ever knew that like rock stars had names.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I always just thought music was just like something that was just there. But when I was like, John, Paul, George, Ringo. Ooh, well, that's cool, that's catchy, I like it. And like, I kind of grew up just like going along with everything classic rock, especially 60s and 70s. Very Pink Floyd, very much Beatles, not so much Rolling Stones, but definitely The Who. And then like when I was 14, I heard Rush. I heard Rush. And it was like on a choir trip when I was in high school, and like I brought a bunch of CDs with me, just like random stuff, and I brought the CD called Rush. I was like, oh, this, why not?
What album was it?
It was just Spirit Radio Greatest Hits, and it was a bus trip from Killeen, which is my hometown, to South Padre.
Okay.
And that was the first thing I put on that album. It was like 4 in the morning, I was supposed to sleep. I ended up listening to that album for 8 straight hours. And I was like, this is addicting. This is the kind of drumming I have been looking for, you know? Because I was very much into drumming. I knew I was wanting to do something revolved around creativity, but I didn't know what. And then when I heard Neil Peart play, especially on Spirit Radio, it's like, wow, the polyrhythms he's doing, they're incredible. He's not just playing the drums, he's creating music. He's creating melodies on the drums. He's creating hooks that aren't just pertaining to the guitar and the bass and the vocals. He's actually doing something that's individual to him. And I was like, this is amazing. So I became a huge Rush fan, and then when I got to college, I became an obsessive Rush fan. And then eventually I started really getting into a lot more info. What?
Wasn't there like a period of like 4 years that's all you listened to was Rush?
It was when I was 19. When I was 19,
just one full year. That's
one full year, I listened to nothing but Rush for a whole year. I refused to listen to anything
How
else.
did it still going back? And who was the first artist you went back to?
I went back to actually Steely Dan.
Oh, those are some bad motherfuckers.
Steely Dan, I heard Asia when I was a kid, and I was like, this is kind of boring. But when I moved up to Denton and got involved with the UNT music scene, I went back to a lot of classic rock that I listened to, and I especially went back to a lot of 80s rock and 80s new wave stuff, and I heard so much complexity with what they did, sound-wise and musically, and especially listening to guys like Steely Dan and Talking Heads. It was like, whoa, this is like music on a whole nother level. And eventually I was like, I'm just gonna listen to everything now. So I started listening to more heavy stuff, like especially Animals as Leaders. August Burns Red was one of my favorites growing up. And then Coheed, he got me into. Right now, I'm actually not into a lot of metal stuff. I'm into a band right now called Wolfpack. They're just very, very tight.
Oh, that funk band.
Oh yeah,
like
lo-fi
Those guys are
funk
good.
stuff.
Those guys are good.
And it is the coolest, most badass stuff I've heard in a while, and I've become obsessed with it. But like heavy wise, man, there's just.
I think the last heavy album that I listened to was there's a band called Gaza, and it was an album called He Is Never Coming Back. That album was brutal. Listen to some Converge lately. I like to go back to them. Converge kicks ass. Like You Fail Me, that album was fucking great.
I've been really into Mr. Bungle.
Whenever I need to go like
Mr.
after
Bungle's
something like
awesome.
really far off in that direction, I always go after Within the Ruins. Those dudes are sick.
I listen to Judjud. Remember Judjud?
Judjud kicks ass. That band's great.
Yeah.
These names are throwing me.
Judjud is great. They were a 2-person band, and they would just use their mouths. So like
That's all they did.
Yeah,
It's
but they were like
Judjuds.
it was like breakdown hardcore music. Like, but
And
it was,
it was
if they
all
were
syncopated.
yeah.
It was crazy.
If instead of being a full band, it was people doing it with their mouths.
There's 2 guys just doing Judjud.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah.
I'm like, this is cool. I mean, it's supposed to be stupid, but like these guys are. You can tell they've worked at it.
That makes me feel really bad because since I'm just a vocalist in my band, I always come up with really nice sounding ideas for riffs, but I'm like the most musically uninclined person
Yeah.
ever.
So go like
Yeah, so like I record myself on my phone like and now Stacey did like fuck. Okay, so now every time I do it, I'm gonna think about that and I'm gonna feel really weird.
You should check those guys out. They're like,
Yeah.
You're like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. I'm gonna send that so I'm gonna be like, hey guys, this is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
That's what I've been working on.
What do you guys think? It's not bad, but I mean,
Yeah, hey, Jake,
it could be worse.
Jacob, you can turn this into a riff, right?
Sort of.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so guys, I need to know your upcoming shows for this year, any future plans you have upcoming. Throw everything out.
Ho ho ho.
We're playing for MTV Spring Break next year. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we have a show coming up on September 1st. We're playing at Bullseye Bikes in Denton. It's like an odd day show they're doing.
Yeah.
And then we're playing, let's see, on...
Got a show on 9/14, I think.
Got my calendar here.
Not with us. Not with us. We have a show on October 10th at Truth Final in Arlington.
Yeah.
And then we have a show on October 19th at Andy's. It's where...
It's within the Cox.
Yeah, it's
their album release show.
The album release show. And then we're playing on October 26th, that's a Friday, at the Bearded Monk in Denton.
The Bearded Monk.
And then plans other than the shows is we're talking about making another music video fairly soon.
Yeah.
For the first song on our new album. It's called "The Feud Amongst the Mute." It's actually It's actually the title of our previous album. It's something that we do. We've been doing the last couple albums. We'll have a song on the next album that is the title of the previous album.
That's actually really smart.
So that blue album has a song called Operation Condor, and that's the name of our second album.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're gonna do we're talking about doing a music video for "The Feud Amongst the Mute." That song's kind of about I say it's about being a teacher, but it's kind of about silence your phone. That's what it's about. It's how we're all addicted to technology, and it's impossible to keep people's attention because we're all looking at our phones.
It's like the porno can
Get it. Turn
do
off.
video.
It's okay.
Don't you?
So yeah, we're gonna
Child,
do.
Evan.
So yeah, I think we're
Well, you're
gonna
a drummer.
we're gonna make a video for that. We're already writing new material.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about in the next recording. I think we're gonna probably do an EP.
Yeah.
So we've released 4 full lengths.
In a pretty short period of time.
All in a period of like 2 years, so we're just
Well,
gonna.
the 2.
Slows it down.
But we're
yeah.
gonna make this EP like really stand out.
And then
above
we've
our
been
others, too.
discussing what a potential tour might look like next year, either
Yeah.
spring or summer.
Yeah, probably summer since I'm a teacher. So like that's the easiest time for me to go on tours.
I'm probably gonna write another piano etude for the next
Yeah.
EP.
Yeah, because trying to do it like right now would be kind of tough, especially because now, and not just scheduling, but I would assume because as someone who graduated in 2012, so I haven't been it's not super long ago as I graduated high school. I always remember, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I've always heard these fucking kids like students that I was with, and like when we would have like the teacher was there and we had a substitute, but substitute wasn't there. You always had that one kid who's like, well, you know, if no one shows up in the first
15 minutes.
we can fucking leave.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Is that true? Is that
in
true?
college? Yeah, it's totally
Oh, in
true.
college,
Yeah. Not in school.
Yeah, no.
Especially public schools, because since we have to.
Who's gonna watch them?
We
right?
have to
Like,
answer
the kids have to be.
I mean, we have to submit our attendance to TEA, and schools' funding is ultimately determined on the attendance of the school. That partially is determined on attendance of school children and blah 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 blah. Ultimately, it comes down to money, is what it is.
Okay.
So schools get their money, but by getting butts in the seats. So we got to make sure we take attendance, and if teacher doesn't show up, then people are going to get. That doesn't mean that students get to leave, though. Sorry, not sorry. You still skip school. Sorry, but in college, it's different. Yeah, if the teacher doesn't show up for 10 minutes, fucking leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back.
They don't even give a shit if you
Yeah, they
show
don't
up.
care. They don't care if you're there or not.
They really don't.
They get a paycheck.
They really don't.
Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck him. He's the one who spent the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
You're spending. Yep.
Yeah.
I guess when we gotta learn about polyenigmions or what the fuck ever Algebra 6 teaches.
Polygurgus.
Poly.
Oh no, you're not gonna bring that up again.
Polygurgus.
Actually, since he did bring it up, we're
Polygurgus.
gonna go into it now. What is this?
Polygurgus. Okay, so check it.
Jesus.
Polygurgus is the name of a species of ant that cannot raise its young, and it also so it can't raise its young, and it can't do something else. It can't farm its own food or something. I can't remember. But there are two basic like life processes that this one species can't do for itself. So it enslaves two other species to do it.
Okay,
So it's called a polygurgus.
I'm a pest control dude.
Oh yeah.
I'm a bug boy.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, Polygurgus sounds like the scientific classification name.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe the ant you're talking about is like somewhere in fucking bumfuck South America or something.
Still cool as fuck.
Oh no, yeah.
Like the fact that an entire species has like
Enslaves
enslaved
the
other
rainforest,
species.
man.
It's pretty much,
Yeah.
they like they're pretty fucking big compared to other ants, and they're just like,
Mhm.
hey,
Do it.
go, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
All right, man.
And it's literally it's
Follow your
literally
words,
it's literally
yeah.
a process. There's like it's not even cool. Like because no, it's because the thing is, it's like they just like it's not like they walk up and like kill like a quarter of the population. Like all right. If you want to, unless you want to be in that pile, you go do this. They're just like, hey, go do it, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally just like the fucking fat kid on the
Yeah.
playground telling the small skinny kid give him his lunch money, gives him like 2 quarters, and then that's.
I mean, what's he
the end
gonna
of
do?
shit.
Try and kick the big guy's ass?
Well, it's fun. Anyway, it came up because I was
Ants will
like,
kill you, and then
I was,
probably eat you too. So.
yeah. I was talking to Zach and a couple other kids that we're trying to play with, Gerardo and Brett Crow, with a new group, and I was like, "This is a cool name," and then they're like, "No, I hate it."
Anything
And then-
poly is
and then
just
like somebody else posted
really
Polybius or something like that. And
Polybius. It's a video game myth.
yeah,
It's cool.
Gerardo was like, "Nope, I'm voting that down."
Yeah.
I was like, "You don't like Poly? Get him." Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like,
Kick him
I
out of
love
the
the name
band.
Polygurgus. I thought it was cool as shit.
That
If
sounds
he
so-
starts with this dumb name, just imagine what he's gonna do later on.
Yeah.
You know.
Never know.
Just imagine what the direction the band is going to go based
Right?
on the name alone.
We don't need him sinking down to us, you know. No. Jeez.
Yeah.
Polybius is just like an urban myth where like someone apparently died playing a video game.
That'd be a good name for a band.
Lips and assholes.
That'd be a good name
Yeah.
for a band, wouldn't it?
Hickory smoke buttholes.
Gotta play with the condiments.
That sounds like that sounds like
With
a
the hickory
name
smoke
that you would
buttholes in the
get
comp.
at like a really small town in Texas.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
really
like
good.
Palestine, Texas would sell that shit like smothered barbecue asshole. Poor asshole. Well, guys, I believe there's really no better way we can end this episode off than fucking
Yeah, the
smoke
apocalypse
pop
happens.
like fucking assholes. So,
Yeah.
guys, I thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
I
for
greatly
having us.
appreciate it. Next episode, we continue this trend of the people that hit me up via the local group. Shout out to all of you who have, by the way. You literally filled up my August and my September, and I was only trying to fill my August up. Y'all are cool. So we'll get more into that. This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. I was about to say album review. What the fuck?